Why don't we just stay on the topic of kids in school for a moment and focus specifically on what they're eating. Experts say what we put into those lunch bags really does make a difference in how kids learn and the way they feel at school. Peggy Katsopoulos says kids need to eat a lot less of some things and a lot more of others, and it wouldn't be hard to guess what we're talking about. But Peggy is a registered holistic nutritionist, by the way. She works with Toronto area schools and daycares. So I'm glad you're in, because I still have one that I send lunch with to school. What should kids be getting in their lunch pails?
Okay, the
boxes,
most important,
whatever, bags, whatever they take.
Yeah, the most important things that we want to incorporate, number one, vegetables and fruits and whole grains. We want to move away from the processed refined foods and more into whole foods. We want to add some protein, because protein is going to give them sustainable energies to give them the energy to last throughout the day, so they don't get spikes and dips and crash by mid-morning. We also want to incorporate another important nutrients are omega-3 fatty acids. That really helps with cognitive development, cognitive functioning, alertness, and really, really important for children to incorporate that into their diet.
Because one of my kids is at university, I sent him off to first year. I sent him omega-3 thinking that will, because I wasn't sure how much fish he was going to eat, right? So now, even in elementary school, you want to keep that, even though they might not want fish in their lunch.
Starting from a really, really early age. And it's not necessarily, you don't necessarily have to do fish all the time. So certain foods, for example, chia seeds, right here we have salba, or hemp seeds.
Wait, stop. What's that?
So these are chia seeds. So chia seeds are loaded in nutrients. It's a complete protein, has all your essential amino acids.
How do you eat it?
So these, you can actually just sprinkle it in your oatmeal, or your cereal in the morning. You can. Do you know what's really good is if you mix it into yogurt. So, and what it does is, because
so you
it's
don't taste it?
Yes, you don't taste it. Hide it with lots of fruit and your yogurt. But what it does is, because it's so high in fiber, it actually emulsifies and it really thickens up and plumps up because of the fiber content. You can actually put it in like a chocolate milk or chocolate almond milk, 2 tablespoons. Put it in the fridge overnight. The next day you have like chocolate tapioca pudding.
Okay,
so it's really, really good.
I need
That's
this
really
in my
good.
diet.
Also, hemp seeds as well. Hemp seeds are more creamier. They're softer. They're not as crunchy as the chia seeds. Again, really easy to. You can even sprinkle it in their sandwich. So if you're packing them a lunch for school. Sprinkle some in their sandwich. Put it in, again, yogurt in their cereal.
Okay,
so
what about
also
fruit? You did mention veggies, and
a
lot of parents will send carrot sticks because it's so easy to do that, and celery, that kind of stuff. But fruit.
Yeah.
How do you send, grapes without them getting smushed in the knapsack?
Put them in a Tupperware. Put them in a hard Tupperware container. That way they can open them and take it with them. Berries, fruits, blueberries, strawberries, high in antioxidants.
I see you've got
really
some
good
dried
for them.
fruit there
Yeah,
as well.
do you know what? Really, really good too is if you take some dried apricots, for example. Sometimes kids won't eat it. They'll look at it and say, "What is this?" But I find if I cut it up into little pieces just with a knife and put it in a little Ziploc bag with some other dried fruit, it looks like jujubes. They think they're jujubes. Honestly, they eat them. Kids, if you cut them up in smaller pieces, they'll actually eat it. They think it's candy because it's sweet.
So we're tricking our children.
Yeah, not necessarily. You want to educate them and get them involved. We don't want to trick them. We want to educate them.
Right. A lot of kids will take sandwiches or wraps, that kind of thing. I see you've brought some options for breads.
Yeah, what we want to do, the worst thing we can do is give them white bread. White bread is equivalent to white sugar that we're giving them. It's going to cause blood sugar spikes and dips. So what we want to do, whole grain breads are better, 100% whole grain breads, or something like sprouted grain bread. So these right here are sprouted grain breads, and what you do is when you sprout the grain, you're actually increasing the nutritional profile of the grain. So these breads are way more higher in nutrients, better than whole grain breads, higher in enzymes, really, really loaded in nutrients, good for you. So even though it looks like regular bread, tastes like regular bread, the nutritional profile of it doesn't even compare.
What did you call it again?
It's a sprouted grain bread.
A sprouted grain bread.
Yes.
Okay, so watch for that. You've also got some crackers, because you know what? You got to have something to snack on at recess.
Yeah.
And you don't want to send the jujubes, right?
You can even cut up some cheddar cheese cubes.
Yeah.
Do that as a snack. And in terms of yogurts too, even a lot of the fruit stirred yogurts are high in sugar. A lot of times they're about 14, 15 grams of sugar per serving. That's around 15% of sugar.
What about those zero-fat yogurts? A lot of them you see zero-fats.
What they do is they take out the fats and replace it with sugar.
Really?
And sugar is the worst thing you want to do. So
I got to look more closely at the labels, obviously.
And what's really good too is what I brought here is Greek yogurt. Have you ever tried Greek yogurt?
No.
Oh, Greek yogurt is amazing. It's really thick. It's actually been strained 4 times, so it's really thick and dense. And what it does is regular yogurt, a serving has around 3 to 4 grams of protein. This one serving has 20 grams of protein.
Really?
So it's loaded in nutrients, has more active bacterial cultures than regular yogurt. And you can just mix it up with some fruit, some frozen fruit, fresh fruit, put in some oatmeal oatmeal flakes, some granola, and you can put it in its own Tupperware, and that's a great snack for kids.
What's that thing in the blue box?
Okay, so this is hemp milk. Remember I talked about the hemp seeds,
Yes.
high in omega-3s? So if you're looking for a substitute in terms of milk substitute, you can
What
even...
about in soy milk? You know, a lot of people
I
use
would
that.
stay away from soy milk.
Really?
It's really high in estrogens, and it's really highly processed. So what I would do is, it's an option, but I prefer hemp milk as a better option.
How does it taste?
You know what? They've come a long way in terms of taste. It's
So
not
you're not
exactly
drinking
like
it like
dairy.
this
No.
anymore?
You know
Yeah.
what? They have a hemp, Manitoba Harvest. I love their brand. They actually have chocolate hemp bliss, and it tastes like regular chocolate milk. No one would have a clue. No. And they use rice syrup in there, so it's not really that refined. It's healthier options, and it's high in omega-3 fatty acids, which is important for cognitive functioning.
You know, a quarter of our kids are overweight in schools. Yeah. Do you think that this lunch package that we send every day has a big part to do with that?
Absolutely. 26% of kids today are overweight and or obese, and it's all linked back to, well, number one, inactivity, but number two, diet, nutrition, and sugar and processed foods is the biggest culprit. Juices. By drinking juices every day, I mean, that contributes to obesity
but
and overweight. Juice. Not necessarily. All you need is probably an ounce to 2 ounces. Dilute it with water. 1 cup of juice has 25 grams of sugar. The daily maximum probably for kids is around 30 to 40 grams of sugar per day. By 2 glasses of juice, you've exceeded that. So really, water's the best thing, milk's the best thing, almond milk, hemp milk if they don't want to do cow's milk.
I'm not buying juice packs anymore.
No, I would stay away from juice packs. That's one of the biggest things. If you can just eliminate excess sugars, the refined sugars, you're making a huge difference in terms of childhood nutrition.
Final question for you. How much of it is monkey see, monkey do?
Oh, 100% of it almost. Yeah. So, I mean, as a parent, you should be eating that way. I see a lot of parents eating totally opposite. They want their kids to eat healthy, but they're not doing it themselves. So, as a family, embrace it. The more and more kids, a lot of kids are bringing quinoa to school and healthy snacks to school. But once kids get involved, get them involved in the process. Get them to pick out their own fruits and vegetables. Educate them. Have them prepare their lunch so they're proud to eat it at school.
Great conversation. I want to thank you, Peggy, for bringing in all this food. You've made the entire crew hungry.
Good.
But they'll be eating well.
Good. Absolutely. The most important thing.
That's registered holistic nutritionist Peggy Katsopoulos joining me here.